So, imagine one summer you get an internship and you're sitting at your desk and your boss comes and all of a sudden you pretend like you're doing work. You kind of get stressed, you really don't know what you're doing, and you kind of lack the vision of like why you're doing what you're currently doing and how it fits to the overall organization. Now, the next summer, imagine if your boss allows you to spearhead projects that you were actually passionate about. He or she shared the overall vision of your organization through your interests, goals, and values that they learned about you, and you go home feeling fulfilled from a day's work. You might not like what you actually did that day, but you love your job. So what makes the difference? You know, it might be the same internship, but at the end of the day, what changes your perspective of what that job is like for you? So, since beginning to work at JMU Labs about 2 years ago, I made a discovery. One discovery changed my view on how people in teams, organizations interacted with each other, and even more changed how I interacted with people. That difference was servant leadership. Nick Swain, JMU faculty champion and executive director for VAX Labs, has consistently exemplified what it means to be a servant leader to me. We all have leaders like him who, no matter what, we would follow them anywhere. As our leader, he sees the vision of X Labs and shares it with us consistently. So it becomes clearer and clearer and clearer so we all see it, and we can now focus on making that happen. Typically in a leadership structure, all people at the top of the organization have all the authority, but people at the bottom have all the information and context. Our usual routine is to move that information upwards for a decision to be made. So when all of a sudden we have this brand new makerspace, we dipped our toes in by doing hackathons that now run every semester and putting on pop-up classes, bringing in faculty interests, student passions, and even fun ones we could think of like pancake exchanges. We become unleashed onto this blank canvas, but start things that would allow us to test the waters. During this whole time, we're experimenting and learning, and from a leadership standpoint, we know that Nick Swain is taking a risk on us because he technically is letting us out onto this free new space with 3D printers and so forth. While you're in this free space and as a servant leader, you're always going to be kind of experimenting and taking risk with your followers who are now you are empowering along the way. And they might come up with things such as putting on a student exchange program for Chinese students, or they might welcome inner city kids from Richmond along the way to come visit you. And you are able to kind of showcase what you're actually doing in your space to students that will never reach you. By doing these types of things, you're able to kind of potentially even win awards by the governor, like the best use of technology in education. But along the way, you're never really alone. All those people that have supported you in getting you right here today are always with you because they've invested in you more than you could ever imagine. And now, if you could imagine that maybe that high school teacher that you thought pushed you way too much, and I could think of mine right now on the spot, Lauren Jensen, my 11th grade English teacher, still need to work on my writing skills, but I probably have improved way more because of her. So if you can imagine that teacher and what they've done for you, when will you do that to someone else? And so I would love to leave you with, how might we better serve the people around us by being servant leaders to them? So thank you.